This video is made just as a massive info dump. You can actually skip the first 4 minutes of this video and read everything yourself. If you want to go to Marathon Guide, it has all of the info you would ever need on this game. So the first thing you're going to want to do in this game is figure out what shell you want to mainly use. And the reason behind that is because there are items in the game that are specific to each character. So each shell has different abilities and different stats assigned to them, and they all fit a different role. Destroyer is going to be your main fighter. He's the most durable out of all the characters. Vandal is going to be your movement character. Recon, this character is extremely useful to not allow anyone to sneak up on you. Assassin has built-in smoke grenades in his kit. He also has an active camo. Triage is your medic. Now, to quickly go over who you should play based on your play style, Destroyer is for offensive and defensive players. Kinda depends on how you want to play him, but he's very versatile in that aspect. Vandal is a movement character. That is what she is based around. So unless you're comfortable with having that mechanical advantage over people, I think there are better options. Recon is a really good pick if you just don't want to be snuck up on, or if you want to know where people are around you. Assassin is a very strong character since you have built-in smokes and active camo, so not only can you sneak up on people with him, but he's really good in team fights. Because you have smokes, you have the ability to rotate with this character a lot more safely and effectively. Now, Triage is kind of a squads only character. I don't see a point of playing him in solo, but as soon as you hop in trios, I think he gets a lot of value due to the fact that you don't have to waste as many resources with him. Now, unfortunately, I don't really have that much information on Thief. What I will say about her, she does seem to have some very good vertical movement with her grapple, and she's going to be extremely good at wasting resources of other teams and also looting areas. Now, for solo players, I think Destroyer is an okay pick. Recon could also be a strong pick, but I do think Assassin would be the strongest pick for solo players. I do recommend playing all the characters and figuring out which one you feel most comfortable on. Just understand for inventory management, it will be useful. Now to quickly go over the inventory system and how it actually functions. You have your backpack slot, of course you have your weapon slots and your mods. On most weapons you will have a chip mod, an optic mod, a magazine mod, and a barrel mod. And understand that weapons rarity will actually be associated to what mods they have on them. You have equipment slots, which is just going to be your utility slot. There you can put your grenades or ammo crates. Next you have your shield slot, and next you have your cores and your implants, which this is where kind of the quote-unquote build crafting comes from. So you have red, orange, and yellow slots. Red is going to be your head, orange is going to be your torso, and yellow is going to be your legs. All of your implants, besides the location of where they go on your body, all look the same, and you actually have to hover over it and read what it does for each one. So this is going to unfortunately just be a big learning curve. And then you have your factions. Now your factions are just going to be your skill tree, your vendor, also your quest givers. So on the UI for each of your agents, you're going to have a contracts page and your upgrades, which is your skill tree and also your shop unlocks. Oni is going to be your general store. Gaius is going to be more meds and mainly implants. Vulcan is going to be all weapon based, so weapons and weapon mods. Gantry is going to be all utility, so smoke grenades, grenades. Charter is going to be your heavy weapons, so your LMGs and railguns, along with more implants. And just remember, on the shop you will have different sponsors on different days. Now to get into probably the most confusing part of this game is the item types. So of course you have your weapons, you have your backpack, you have your salvage, you have your shield, implant, or your mods, ammo, and consumables. You of course also have your currency and your valuables. Valuables will instantly be sold for currency as soon as you exfil successfully, so those items will not fill up your inventory or vault afterward. Now, to quickly go over the PvE in this game, the NPCs in this game are challenging and there are different levels of difficulty to them. The easiest way to actually understand it is to ping the enemy. and you can see what mark they are. Bosses are going to be a bright color, and it's actually pretty easy to confuse them as enemy players. One tip I can give against PvE if you're struggling against them is to use energy weapons, volt weapons, against them. 1, it conserves the ammo of your main weapon, and 2, they're usually pretty easy to find, so even if you don't bring one in, you can usually grab one off of an NPC body or inside of a storage. And another tip I can give is meleeing them. Heavy melees against them do a lot of damage. Something that you should be doing for every single one of your runs is completing contracts. If you aren't completing at least a part of your contract during your runs, you're kind of wasting that run. Accepting and completing contracts is the best way to progress this game and level up your character. For PvP in this game, I wouldn't be able to finish the video if I went over everything. The most important thing to understand in fights of this game is positioning. The time to kill in this game is extremely fast, and if you are caught out even for a second, you're probably going to die. This game is very punishing if you make any mistakes, so being able to position yourself correctly is going to make it a lot easier for you to win fights. And I'll give you a couple of examples. So in this fight, we were able to actually crouch up to the enemy, cutting any footstep noise and getting the jump on them. And as you can see, as soon as I take some shots at them, I immediately slide into cover and take an acceptable gunfight with only one person. I immediately start healing, knowing that there's no one else in the room because I can see through the wall. I am able to fully heal, and the rest of my teammates win their fights as well. In this fight, both teams know exactly where each other are. I pop my ultimate in order to give myself some speed boost and launch my ability. We are able to actually down one of the players because they overextended, but then smokes are popped on both teams. I sprint through the smoke, try to get a rotation around them, not knowing that there was actually still an enemy player to my right behind the rock. I take a lot of damage, almost die, and am forced to retreat back towards my team. Both of my teammates go down, and now I am stuck in a 1v2 situation. Now luckily both of them are pinged so I can see them, and one of the enemies overextends and takes a one-on-one with me. The other enemy, for whatever reason, does not push me even though I am extremely low, so I assume that he is also low. So I'm going to fully heal. Now luckily I spot him to my left even though he's cloaked. We both take a lot of damage and are forced to heal up again. After healing up a little bit, I use my hand cannon ability to try to push him out of cover to see where he is. I hit him and I see him fall to my right, so I know he was cloaked. Unfortunately, I take some more damage, he misses all of his shots, and I commit to a slide. And unfortunately, he's able to get around the corner and get a peek on me. So that's most of what I can give without making this video too long. If there's any questions that you have, please leave them in the comments and I'll try to answer them to my best ability. I am still learning this game just as much as everyone else is, but yeah.